Hello everyone, my name is Aastha and I welcome you all to our last class for class 6th. This is the 19th class and herein we will be doing the sample paper. So before starting this class, make sure you have revised all the concepts and then attempt this class, alright? Let's get started.
So today is our final mission day wherein we will be doing our final class of the sample question paper. Now, first of all, before starting, I would like to give you a few tips on how to manage your time during the exam. Now, if you remember these tips, then they would definitely help you somewhat in the exam. All right, let's start. The first important thing is to read the entire question paper carefully. Now, in so many questions, like especially those of tenses and those of, say, antonyms or synonyms, now many questions, if you don't read them carefully, even the reading comprehensions, if you don't read them carefully, then it's very likely that you will answer them incorrectly. So it's very important to read it very carefully. All right. Then the second thing is to allocate enough time for each question as per their marks. Now, the HOTS questions. The HOTS questions, the last 5 questions of the Achievers section, they are very important because they carry double the marks. So it is important that you leave sufficient time for the Achievers section questions. And sometimes it is also preferable that you attempt those Achiever section questions first. क्योंकि अगर आप उन्हें पहले अटेम्प्ट कर लोगे तो आपका दिमाग उस टाइम फ्रेश है, राइट? तो आपने पहले वो 5 क्वेश्चंस अटेम्प्ट कर लिए, सो यू आर क्लियर ऑन द फैक्ट दैट कि आपको चलो 5 जो डबल मार्क्स वाले क्वेश्चंस हैं वो सही हो गए. ऑलराइट, सो allocate enough time for each question as per their marks. Now, next, it is also important to leave sufficient time in the end to revise the paper. कि कहीं आपने कोई क्वेश्चन छोड़ तो नहीं दिया है, कहीं कोई क्वेश्चन स्किप तो नहीं हो गया है, या फिर कहीं बाय चांस सपोज यू सी आपने देखा कि हाँ इसका आंसर तो सी है पर आपने OMR शीट में उसका आंसर बी मार्क कर दिया. So for all these things it is very important to revise the paper in the end. All right. Alright, so the next point is, don't be afraid to guess. No negative marking. Now, as I have told you time and again that it is very important for you to attempt all the questions. Why? Because there is no negative marking. Suppose you don't know the exact correct answer to a question, but आप guess कर पा रहे हो कि शायद इसका ये होगा, तो it is very important कि आप उसे mark कर दो. जो भी आप guess कर पा रहे हो आप उसे mark कर दो, because there are chances कि वो सही हो सकता है. और अगर आप उसे छोड़ आओगे, अगर आप उसे skip कर दोगे तो कोई भी scope नहीं है ना आपको marks मिलने का. Right? So don't be afraid to guess. The next question, next point, you can always come back to some questions in the end. Which means अगर कोई question आपको difficult लग रहा है या आपको लग रहा है I need more time to figure this out, so you can always mark it and come back to it in the end. So you can keep provision like this as well. Then, as I told you, if you finish early, revise the paper. And even if you don't, it is very important आप practice ही ऐसे करो कि आप paper time से पहले खत्म कर पाओ. That's why I've kept timers for you. कि आप timer के हिसाब से answer करोगे तो definitely you will be able to finish early and then revise the paper. And then it is very important to mark properly on the OMR sheet. अगर suppose जैसे मैंने आपको अभी बताया आपने देखा आंसर तो B है पर आपने गलती से C मार्क कर दिया तो आपका तो आंसर गलत हो गया ना. आपको पता है फिर भी आपने गलत मार्क कर दिया तो इसको मार्क्स नहीं मिलेंगे. सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू मार्क प्रॉपर्ली. और OMR शीट पे भी यूज दिस HB ब्लैक पेंसिल. उसमें ना बॉक्स को जो सर्कल है टू फिल इट कंप्लीटली प्रॉपर्ली. Alright, so you have to take care of these instructions. Now let's move on. Now we are going to start with the final quiz. Alright, now brace yourselves, bring in your pen and paper, and we will be starting with our final quiz. Let's start. Now for every question, you will be given 1 minute. 1 minute, 60 seconds you will be given as per the timer. Now why am I giving you 60 seconds? Because for every IEO question, you are given more than 60 seconds in the final exam. तो मैंने सेफ साइड पे आपको 1 मिनट दिया है. अब इसमें दो कैटेगरी ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स होंगे. वन कैटेगरी जो लेस देन 1 मिनट में अपने क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर लेते हैं. तो जब ये कर लेते हैं तो यू शुड तो अगर आपने जल्दी क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर लिया तो आप फास्ट फॉरवर्ड करके आप आंसर देख लीजिए. पर वो कैटेगरी जो स्टूडेंट्स ये 1 मिनट में आंसर नहीं दे पाते हैं, तो आपको डिसहार्टन नहीं होना है, दुखी नहीं होना है. आप पॉज करें और पहले अपना आंसर दें. जो भी आंसर आपको लग रहा है सही है वो आप आंसर लिखें, उसके बाद ही आप आंसर देखें. ये यू शुड मेक श्योर कि आप कोई भी क्वेश्चन स्किप ना करें, आप सबके आंसर दें, चाहे वो सही हो या गलत, वो सेकेंडरी चीज है. मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट इज कि आप पहले आंसर दें. ओके, so and for every correct answer you give yourself 10 points, and for every incorrect answer no points. Why no points? Because IEO में there is no negative marking. आपका आंसर चाहे गलत हो या फिर आपने आंसर नहीं किया हो तो आपको 0 ही मिलेगा. ओके, सो इट इज बेटर कि सपोज अगर आप किसी क्वेश्चन में कंफ्यूजन है कि इसका आंसर क्या होगा, नहीं समझ आ रहा, तो आपने उसे छोड़ना नहीं है, आपने उसको आंसर करना है. और चाहे आपको लग रहा हो कि ये शायद ये आंसर सही हो सकता है बी या सी से, तो आप उसे पक्का पॉइंट आउट करके आओ, मतलब उसे OMR शीट पे मार्क करके आओ, बिकॉज देयर आर चांसेस कि वो आपका आंसर सही हो जाए. ऑलराइट, सो लेट्स स्टार्ट. Okay, so now we start off with the final paper. Here we are given a few instructions that you see each question in the Achievers section carries 3 marks, whereas all of the questions they carry 1 mark each. And so the first section here is word and structure knowledge. Let's start. All right, here the direction says for questions 1 to 22, choose the correct option to fill in the blank. Example is given, I got here at 1 and now it's 2:15, so I have dash here for over an hour. I've waited here, waiting here, been waiting here, had waited. Correct answer is given C, be in waiting. So accordingly, that's how you have to do these questions. Fill in the blanks. It's a dash that there aren't any good pizzerias in this town. It's a shame, or it's a shaming, or it's ashamed, or it's a shameful. Here the correct answer is A. It's a shame. Now shame is what? Shame is a noun. So here we are talking about a certain noun. It is a shame. Here we will be filling in a noun, and all the other ones, like here you see be shaming. This is the verb ing form. Shame plus ing, shaming. Then we have C, shamed, shamed. We can call this again to be verb and the past form, P2 form, V2 form. Then D, shameful, shameful is an adjective. Alright. Okay, here. I couldn't stay any longer due dash having enough money to pay for the hotel. A, due to not, due not to, or due not having. Now here the correct answer accordingly is B. Due to not having enough money to pay for the hotel. Due to not having enough money. Alright. Why? Due to we use to talk about any purpose or any reason here in this case. I couldn't stay any longer due to what? Due to is used together, and we say due to when we are talking about a certain reason. Due to what? Due to not having enough money to pay for the hotel. Alright. So accordingly the correct answer is B, to not. Due to not having enough money. Now here you see A2. This will just be talking about the purpose of the movement, which is incorrect here. See, not to. Not to is given, is used when we are talking about a certain direction or advice, we can say. Alright. Due not. Now here, with due, we use to. So as to tell about a certain reason. Due to this. Okay. So here we have only not, which is also incorrect. Alright, now here we have either Frank or Jane dash handball really well, but I can never remember who though. Was played, play, playing or plays. Here the correct answer is B, plays. Either Frank or Jane plays handball really well, but I can never remember who though. Why plays? Because we are talking in the present. We're talking about the present tense. This is simple present and we're talking in the current scenario. So we're saying that either Frank or Jane plays handball really well, which means they still play, right? This is the present situation. Then if you see the other options, like A, was played, this is incorrect formation. This is formation of no such tense. Then we have B, play, this is the infinitive form. C, playing, this is verb plus ing form, which is also incorrect. All right. Okay, here. Being from a warm southern climate, I dashed snow before, so it is quite a shock. I was seen snow before. B, I haven't seen snow before. C, I saw snow before. Or D, I was seen snow before. Now here, the correct answer is B. I haven't seen snow before. This is present perfect. Okay. I haven't seen snow before, so it is quite a shock. And we can figure it out from the second latter part of the sentence, that so it is quite a shock, which means this person has not seen snow before. That's why it is a shock for him. Otherwise, if he would have seen, then it wouldn't have been a shock, right? You see the other options, like here, was seen, saw, was seen. All these are first of all positive sentences. So they automatically become incorrect because the latter part of the sentence is telling us that it is a shock for this person. Why? Why would it be a shock? Because only when, if he had not seen snow before, right? So B, I haven't seen snow before. And if you see the other options, like was seen and saw, was seen, it doesn't fit in here. I was seen snow before. It is incorrect. Then we have C, saw. This is also incorrect because it is the past tense, which is incorrect in the given sentence. Then was seeing, this is past continuous, which is also incorrect in the given situation. All right. Here you see we have being from a warm climate. So we are talking about the present, saying something in the present. So we will use present perfect. Alright, next. He put the flowers back in the vase after knocking them over. He delicately put the flowers. Delicate put the flowers. More delicate put the flowers. Delicates put the flowers. Here the correct answer is A. He delicately put the flowers back in the vase after knocking them over. Delicately, we are talking, this is an adverb of manner. We are talking about how did he put the flowers back. So this is answering the question of how. It's an adverb. Alright. Then you see the other options like here B. He delicate put the flowers. This delicate. This is an adjective. Then C, more delicate. More delicate is the comparative adjective. Then we have delicates. Delicates is an incorrect word altogether. Okay, now because you see too delicate, delicate cannot really be a verb because it does not signify any action happening. Delicate is an adjective which means something that is soft and gentle. Alright, and here when we say he delicately put the flowers back, which means we are saying that he gently and with a lot of caution put the flowers back. Alright. Okay, next up we have the dash size of the insect makes it very difficult to see without a magnifying glass. The nanometer size of the insect, the deliberating size of the insect, or the platitude size of the insect, or the minuscule size of the insect. Okay, here you see the answer is the minuscule size of the insect. Minuscule refers to something that is very tiny. Okay, so here we are saying no, the dash size of the insect, which means we are referring to what? It is an adjective. Such a small size, minuscule size of the insect makes it very difficult to see without a magnifying glass. Now, if you see the other options, here we have nanometer. Nanometer is basically is a noun, we can say. It actually means, to be exact, 1,000 millionth of a meter. Now that is extremely small. That can actually be seen. That size can actually, we can say, of microbes in these cells. That is very small, even smaller than that of the insect. All right. Then we have others like here deliberating. Deliberating means thinking carefully and with a lot of consideration. Okay, when you are deliberating something over, which means you're thinking over it very seriously and in depth. All right. Then we have platitude. Platitude means something, some sort of a remark or statement which has a certain moral content. Okay. Can also be used for a thoughtful idea. Okay. So these are the few options here. The correct answer is D, minuscule. Okay, here it will be very difficult to persuade them to do anything. Dash the information in this report. Across the information, in the information, with the information, or D, on the information in this report. So here the correct answer is C, with. Why with? We use with when we are talking about certain togetherness. What do they here? We have it will be very difficult to persuade them to do anything with the information, which means that if you have given them the information, so with this, which means together with this information, it will be very difficult to persuade them to do anything. All right. Then we have here across. Across is used when we are talking about the opposite end of something. Like here, if there is something on the opposite end of this road, we say this is across it, right? Then we have in. In is used when we have to talk about certain time or certain shapes or sizes, etc. we are describing. Then we have on. On can be used for specific dates, or we can say when we are referring to the surface of something. All right. Okay, next. I will be glad dash this walk is finally over. So this walk is finally over, when this walk is finally over, and this walk is finally over, but this walk is finally over. So I will be glad when this walk is finally over. When do we use when? When is the here it is acting like a conjunction. It is the conjunction of this time in here. When will you be glad? I will be glad when this walk is finally over. So you're talking about a certain time, which is this walk getting over, the time when the walk gets over. All right. Then we have other so. So is used when we have to talk about certain conclusion or reason, and is a coordinating conjunction used to connect, but is used when we are using two contrasting statements or contradictory statements. All right. Alright, next. Edward dash a lot of Italian food, hasn't he? Edward will have eaten, Edward eats, Edward has eaten, or Edward will eat. Now here, Here you see we have a question tag, hasn't he? So this sort of gives you a hint as to what verb and what option is going to come in the blank. Now we know for question tags, hasn't he? Now hasn't he, for the question tag and the statement, we know three things. First thing is, with a positive statement we use a negative question tag. So here we know that the statement is positive and all the options here are also positive. That is one. Then second thing, the subject is the same in the statement and in the question tag, and also the verb is the same. Okay, so here the verb is what? Has. Okay, has, the auxiliary verb is has. So accordingly, which of the options has? C. Edward has eaten a lot of Italian food, hasn't he? Right, so this is pretty easy. The correct answer is C. You just have to do this backward conceptual thing from hasn't he, the question tag, to the option. All right. Okay, next. I want to go swimming, said Jenny. Now here you see you have to fill in the punctuation. Let's see. I want to go swimming. Here you see quotation marks are starting. So the quotation marks start and then they end also when the sentences, when whatever they have said, their quotation, their words, quotes are over. Alright. And then after someone has said something and we use said, between that we use a comma. Alright. So accordingly, the correct answer is, so we have to use these quotation marks and this comma to punctuations. So accordingly, the correct answer here is here, B. Now if you see in the A option here, a comma is not there. In C, there's a single, this is used for titles. Then in D, we have this semicolon, which is also incorrect. All right. I don't think that the water is dash hot for you to swim in today. I don't think the water is too hot or much hot or such hot or just hot. Now here the correct answer is A. I don't think that the water is too hot for you to swim in today. Now too is used when we refer to something like very hot. Okay. So the correct answer is A. Okay, here. If the bus fare costs more than I thought, I dash have to walk to these shops. I will have to, I would have to, I will be have to, or I won't have to. So here you see the correct answer is A. I will have to. Now here we are talking about future. Okay, if the bus fare costs more than I thought, then this is a condition attached. So if the bus fare costs more than I thought, then what will happen in the future? This person will have to walk. You see the other options like here would is not used because we're using will for future, that is always preferable. Then we have will be. Will be is not compatible here with the verb have, so will be is incorrect. Then D, won't. Won't is the negative of will, right? Won't stands for will not. But here we are not using negative, because if you try to make sense of the sentence, it says if the bus fare costs more than I thought, which means अगर जो bus fare है वो ज़्यादा होगा तो obviously you will have to walk to the shops. So if you look at the logic, the negative here makes no sense. The correct answer is A, the positive will. All right. She's the lady I met yesterday and dash number I was trying to call just now. Whom number, who number, whose number, or who is number. Yeah, pretty easy. The correct answer is C. Whose number I was trying to call just now. Why whose number? Because here whose is used when we are talking about the possession or belongingness of someone. Like here we are referring to number is the noun, and here we are referring to this lady to whom this number belongs to. So we are talking about belongingness and ownership, so we'll be using whose. Then for the other options, you see A, whom is used for a person, but when that person in the sentence forms the object. Then we have who is also used for a person, but when that person forms the subject. And D, who is again a subpart of who. We can complete this and say like who is this or who is he. All right. Every time I go to the sales, I forgot to take dash money. Forgot to take a money, and monies, the money, or just take money. So here the correct answer is D, no article. Here we're not going to use any article. Why? Because first of all, we're referring to certain uncountable noun. Okay, money is an uncountable noun because we cannot really say one money, two money, three money, right? So it is an uncountable noun. It also, we don't have to make any reference here, just referring to money in general. We are not talking about any specific money. Okay, so every time I go to the sales, I forget to take money. Okay. All right, here. As the wind blew, the clouds started dash, making the sky turn grey. The clouds started gathering, started gathered, started to be gathered, started were gathering. So here the correct answer is A. As the wind blew, the clouds started gathering, making the sky turn grey. Here this is the present, the verb ing, the continuous form started gathering. Okay. Here because we are talking about a continuous process that was happening. As the wind blew, the clouds started gathering and then making what? Again continuous, making the sky turn grey. We have other options. B, gathered. This is the past tense. C, to be gathered. This is incorrect formation. Then we have D, were gathering. This is past and past continuous. All right. Before the electricity went out, she dashed me a hand with my homework. Gives me a hand, has given me a hand, was giving me a hand, or is giving me a hand. So here the correct answer is C, was giving me a hand. Alright, why? Because we're talking about the past here, you see. Before the electricity went out, what was the process taking place? This was the interruption, the electricity going out. But before that, what was she doing? What was the process on? That she was giving me a hand. So past continuous. Then you have the others. A, gives. This is simple present. B, has given. This is present perfect. And then we have D, is giving. This is present continuous. All right. I always jump dash with both feet on tasks that I enjoy. I always jump on with both feet, jump in with both feet, jump up with both feet, or jump at with both feet on tasks that I enjoy. So here the correct answer is in. Now this is, you see, this is a phrasal verb that is being formed. I always jump in. Phrasal verbs are the verbs which are formed with a verb plus either a preposition or something. So we have I always jump in with both feet on tasks that I enjoy. Now jump in actually means when you jump in something, it doesn't mean literally that you are actually jumping inside something. Rather, it means that you get involved in something. Okay, so I always jump in with both feet on the tasks that I enjoy. So this person gets involved completely in the tasks that he or she enjoys. All right. Okay, here we have. I have to study all weekend so I can catch up dash the work I missed last week. Catch up to the work, catch up on the work, catch up like the work, or catch up around the work. So here the correct answer is B. Catch up on the work I missed last week. Alright, next. I agree that the dash of some old traditions makes sense today. That the hanging of some old traditions, brink of some old traditions, abolition of some old traditions, or shar of some old traditions. Here the correct answer is C, abolition. Abolition means removal, or we can say some sort of an end. End of what? Some old tradition. It makes sense today. And abolition, this is a noun saying that I agree that the abolition of some old tradition makes sense today. Alright, so abolition is the only word which makes logic in the given statement. If you see others, like hanging, hanging also can be said in one manner. It can be used as the verb ing form of the verb hang, or it can be used when we talk about the death penalty, like the hanging of some criminal. Alright, then we have brink. Brink is actually the towards the end of something, okay, like on the edge. Then shar, we all know what shar means. Okay, so the correct answer here is C, abolition. Okay, here we have, it is really difficult to dash and create something new. Innovate and create, nudge and create, simple and create, or unable and create. Now here the correct answer is A. It is really difficult to innovate and create something new. Innovate is a verb which here can be synonymous to create, talking about making something new. Alright. And the other nudge is again, we can call it a noun, can be used as a verb as well. Simple is an adjective. Unable is also an adjective. Alright, here we're talking about a verb, because to innovate, to create, these are verbs, so we use innovate. Alright, next. The road up that mountain is dashed because of the dangerous holes in it. Innocuous, intrepid, brave, or notorious. Here the correct answer is D. We're saying the road up that mountain is notorious because of the dangerous holes in it. Now we have the word notorious. What does notorious means? Notorious, we can say something that is typically known for its certain quality. All right. So why that road up the mountain is, what is it known for? What is it famous for? We can say it is famous because of the dangerous holes in it. All right. Then we have the other words, like we have brave. Brave means something, so someone who's strong. Then we have, we have innocuous. Innocuous means something that is not harmful or offensive. It's simple and harmless. All right, that's innocuous. Then we have intrepid. Intrepid means someone who's, it's an adjective that can be used for someone who's adventurous or fearless. All right. Okay, here. I am not from here originally. My family are A. Absurd, B. Immigrant, C. For feet, D. Bright. Okay. Here the correct answer is B. Immigrants. My family are immigrants. Immigrants, like this is the question of one word substitution. Immigrants refers to people who have come from somewhere else, come from abroad, and they settle somewhere else. All right. That's why this person is saying that I'm not from here originally. Okay. Now the other options like absurd. Absurd is an adjective which can be used for something that is weird. Then we have forfeit. Forfeit can be used as a verb while showing the action of giving up something. Then we have bribed. Okay, bribed as a verb can be used for tricking someone into something, or paying money or certain cash or kind to get something done. Okay, here the correct answer is B. Immigrants, which is a noun. Alright, here what we have to do is, for questions 23 and 24, choose the part of the sentence that has an error. Let's read. The shop's doors closed, comma, and the owner left through the small back door. So here if you see, we can spot an error in this part. Here, A. The shop's doors. Why the shop's doors? Because you see, we have the shops doors. Shops, first of all, it is not plural. Okay. And here, even if we are talking about possession, so how do we form it? SHOP, shop. And then we use an apostrophe to show the belongingness to shop. Like the shop's door, if we are trying to say the door of the shops, so we use an apostrophe in shops. Alright, so the error is in the first part. Alright, here we have, it's taken me a long time to find out for definite exact whose house this is. Okay, now here we can send some sort of absurdness here to find out here for definite exact whose house this is. I don't know what they're trying to say, but it's probably they're trying to say that it has taken me a long time to find out exactly whose house this is. Okay, so here definite exact, this is an absurd combination. All right. Okay, so here we have for questions 25 and 26, choose the correct synonym of the given word. Let's see. The word here is despise. The options are hate, like, crave, devour. Now here the correct synonym. Synonym are the words which mean the same. So for despise, the word that means the same is a hate. Alright. The other options like we have here like can be an antonym, crave again can be an antonym, devour again can be an antonym, which means being fond of something or someone. Alright, so these are the antonyms of what? Despise and hate. And so these like, devour, crave, all these can be called synonyms of each other. Okay. Alright, now the next word we have is sanitary. The options here are expensive, pretty, clean and new. Okay, so here sanitary, we have to choose the correct synonym. The correct synonym of sanitary is clean. Okay. If you see the others, expensive, pretty, new, these are words which are, we can say, positive in meaning. Expensive means something that is costly. Pretty is something that's beautiful. New, we know what it means. However, they are the closest word which comes to sanitary is clean. So the correct answer is C. The word with similar meaning for sanitary is C, clean. Alright, here for questions 27 and 28, choose the correct antonym of the given word. So here we are given a word and we have to choose the word which means the opposite. Here we have peril and the options are beautiful, safety, upside down and ecstasy. So here peril actually means some sort of a danger. Okay, so the we can say the opposite word can be safety. The correct answer is B, safety. Other words you see here like beautiful and we have upside down. Upside down means something that is actually opposite in the sense when we say someone is hanging upside down, that means that person has legs in the air and the head towards the floor. All right, then that's what the meaning is of upside down. Okay, then we have ecstasy. Ecstasy actually means a certain state of trance and any strong emotion of something. Okay, that's ecstasy. All right, now the next word we have is lush. The options here are ancient, fancy, enclosed, and barren. So lush actually means something that is very posh and well kept. So here the opposite word can be barren. Barren means something that is kept in a very raw manner and not beautifully set. Alright, like we have a land, there's nothing on that land, it's just kept like that. You can call it barren land. Then we have ancient, sometimes very old. Fancy can be a synonym of lush. Enclosed, something that is closed with walls or something. Alright. Okay, for the next category now, for questions 29 and 30, choose the option with the correct spelling. So what is the spelling of this adjective that means to be afraid of small spaces? Okay, now here, what we have to do first, we have to identify the word, which means it is a one word substitution, and then we have to choose its correct spelling. Okay, so the adjective that means to be afraid of small spaces, it means claustrophobia. And for claustrophobia, the correct spelling is here A. Claustrophobia. That is claustrophobia. Okay. Okay, now next we have is what is the spelling of the word that means to make things worse? Okay, again we have to choose one word substitution first. The word which means to make things worse is exacerbate. Now, and exacerbate, the correct spelling here is B. Exacerbate. Alright. Okay, so now we move on to the next section. This will be about the reading comprehension. Let's start. Okay, so here we have the passage. Let's see, let's read this. I often think about what my dream house might be like and where it would be. Sometimes I think I want to live somewhere warm, where the sun shines most of the time. Other times I like the seasonal variation that is currently around me. Perhaps I would be bored if the weather was constantly nice. In whatever climate the house may be in, it should be near the sea as I'd prefer a sea view. Unfortunately, with a sea view comes a sea view price tag, and this is currently well beyond my reach. So here you see what is the passage about. This is this person thinking about their dream house and what would it be like, where would it really be. So first of all, he thinks about the weather, that he wants to live somewhere warm where the sun shines sometime, and he thinks that maybe not always the weather should be nice. Sometimes I would also like a seasonal variation, because he would probably be bored if the weather is the same all the time. And then he says, I would like a sea view, but that sea view house is always very expensive, which is currently out of my reach. Then it says, if money were no object, I think I would like to live in a castle. However, if you have ever been in a castle, you would know that they are often drafty, with small windows, bad insulation, and a musty smell. I don't like any of these things. So I would like my castle to be modernized. To take full advantage of the sea view, it will need some large single pane glass windows. I am quite keen on saving the planet, so they would need to be well fitted and employ some sort of little harvesting technology, so that I would use the sun's energy to give power to the building. The castle would need wind turbines, geothermal energy pipes, and or solar panels. So now he starts thinking, this person, he or she, whomsoever this person starts thinking that, if money was no object, which means if I had enough money for everything, if there was no limitation on money, then forget about the sea view thing. I would like to, live in a castle. But there's this problem with castles, that they are drafty, they have small windows and different smell, which he or she doesn't like. So this person says that I would like to make a modern castle, and because I also want to save the planet Earth, so I would need to employ this harvesting technology, so that I can use the sun's energy to give power to my castle. Right. Then this person says, I love the outdoors and would like to bring an element of that inside. I envisage creating an indoor-outdoor garden within the house with a retractable roof. This means I could enjoy the sun when it's there and close it to keep bad weather away, if I wanted to. Within this garden would be a pond feature that I could swim in. It would not be a conventional pool, but perhaps a series of streams and pools as you can see in nature. There would be areas where the current increased in strength, so I could practice swimming against it, or simply be taken along by it, floating through the waves and through my garden. I am not entirely sure of the practicalities of creating such an ideal, but if I could, I would. So here what this person is saying, that this person likes the outdoors, so they would sort of create a melange of indoor and outdoor together. So he's planning a retractable roof. Retractable roofs you see with the cars, where you can slide in the roof, and then if you don't want it, you can that roof goes away and it becomes like an open car. Okay, so he talks about all the modern things like this retractable roof, and also having a pond feature, which would be like a swimming pool, and that pool also it will not be a conventional one, rather it will have streams and ponds which we can see in nature, okay. And then this person also says that this pool will also have areas where the currents will be increasing, and then I will be swimming against those waves, and so on and so forth. And in the end, however, this person says that I am not sure if this is practical enough, but if I could, I would. All right, this is a small little passage. Now let's do its questions. Alright, here. Choose the best title or heading for the passage. The house I live in, ideal home, a castle for a king, or watery living. This one's pretty easy because the one that seems the most appropriate is B. The ideal home. Here this person is talking about. So ideal home, B. Alright, now next. What is the problem of buying a house with a sea view? The cost, the wind, the smell, or the windows? Here, what was the problem with this person buying a house with a sea view? Here, I'd prefer a sea view. Unfortunately, with the sea view comes a sea view price tag, which is currently well beyond my reach. So, the problem is the cost. Okay. Okay, here the writer wants wind turbines for the house to save the wind, make a nice noise, look like Holland, or protect nature. So here you see where was it? Harvesting technology to give power to the building. The castle would need wind turbines. Wind turbines. Okay. Why? A, sorry, D, to protect nature. Right. Harvesting technology. Why does this person say it? Say that. Where was it? I'm quite keen on saving the planet. So the answer is D, protect nature. Okay. Okay, so the next question says, what will the special feature of the garden be? The flowers, the rocks, the water body, or the trees? Okay, for the garden. So where was this person talking about the garden? Here, an indoor-outdoor garden with a retractable roof. And here we talk about this pond feature. This will not be a conventional pool, series of streams, etc., etc. So what is it talking about? C, the water body. Right. So here, what does the word retractable mean in the third paragraph? Retractable, here, retractable roof. As I told you, options are something that moves, something that is beautiful, something that is very expensive, or something that shines. As I told you about the retractable roof, it is movable. Either you can put the roof on or you can remove it. So the answer is A, something that moves. Okay. Okay, so here we have another passage. Let's start this one. Casey lived in Baltimore, a big city in the USA. Apparently, the city is very dangerous. But Casey was only young and quite carefree and had not noticed any danger around her. She was 15 years old and had long platinum blonde hair. She had once dyed it black for a dare, but it looked very strange and did not suit her, so it did not last long. She had a very comfortable life in a large house in one of the suburbs in the outskirts of the city. It was a large building with a good-sized garden. The outside of the house was covered in ivy and had a swinging bench on the veranda that Casey liked to sit on during hot summer days. Okay, so here you see the main character of the story is Casey. She lives in Baltimore, and we talk about the dangers in the city, but you know, Casey was really quite free and she didn't notice any danger, so she was good. Then she was 15-year-old. We talk about her hair, then we talk about her house, how she liked to sit on the bench that she has in the veranda. Okay, then, although Casey enjoyed her life in the city, she did find the summer quite tedious. Many of her friends went off to summer camp, so she did not have anyone to hang around with. There was always Margaret next door. She never went anywhere. But Casey and Margaret did not always see eye to eye. They just had very different interests, aims, and ideas. When they were young, their parents often left them to play together in the back garden, and Casey hated this. Margaret was older and bossy and always wanted to play games that Casey considered boring, like pretending to be doctors and nurses. Casey preferred going on adventures, climbing trees, collecting strange insects that could be found under old dead pieces of wood. So here you see, we have introduced another character, that is Margaret. Okay, so she did not really have any friends in the summer because all of them went home. But there was this girl Margaret next door, but she didn't like her because of their differences in what do we say, in childhood. All right, and Margaret wanted to play different games and Casey wanted to play different games. So both of them didn't really get along. Then next para says, so when Casey thought about her summer ahead, she decided to plan an adventure. The first step to the success of this would be able to get her mother on board. Mothers can be notoriously difficult to sway when it comes to their daughters going on adventures, especially if the adventure involved going abroad. Casey really wanted to explore another country, and this was a big part of her planned adventure. She knew her mother had visited many countries, particularly in South America. So Casey decided to plan a trip there, and perhaps her mother would find it hard to say no. So because in summer she did not really have any friends to spend time with, so she thought about this adventure, planned it, and decided the first step would be to getting her mother on board. But she also thought that mothers are very likely to say no if their daughters ask about going abroad, planning this sort of an adventure. But she thought that maybe because her mother had visited so many countries when she was young, so maybe she won't really say no. Okay, so this was the small little passage. Now let's move to the questions. Alright, here choose the best title or heading for the passage. The options are A. Summer holidays, B. The biggest house, C. My friend next door, or D. Camping on a holiday. Here this one seems pretty easy because it talks about the plans of future, the summer holidays. So the answer, the title appropriate one can be summer holidays. Okay. So here the question says, where was Casey's house? In the middle of the city, on the periphery of the city, in the countryside, or near a campsite? So here we see Casey lived in Baltimore, big city in the USA. Okay, she had not noticed. She had a very comfortable life in a large house in one of the suburbs on the outskirts of the city. We're talking about the outskirts of the city. So accordingly, the answer is B, on the periphery of the city. All right. Okay, here. Why did Casey not like her next door neighbor? They played different difficult games, or Margaret was too young, or she always went away, or they disagreed with each other. Now, here you see we had Margaret. She never went anywhere, but they did not always see eye to eye. They had different interests, aims, and ideas. So we can say they always disagreed with each other. Okay. Okay, Casey's mother would be difficult to ask for the money to travel, force to South America, or convince about the holiday. Here we read that when Casey thought about the summer ahead, here the first step would be to get her mother on board. Okay, so the difficulty would be in convincing her about the holiday. All right. All right, now the next question we have is, What is the meaning of the word notoriously in the third paragraph? Especially, quickly, reservedly, dangerously. Here we have mothers can be notoriously difficult. It's the correct. So here notoriously we're trying to say meaning especially. Mothers can be especially difficult to sway when it comes to their daughters going on adventures, especially if the adventure involved going abroad. All right. Okay, so now we move to the next section, which is spoken and written expression. Okay, for questions 41 to 45, choose the most suitable option to complete each conversation. Henry says, "Can I go to the match with the guys?" No chance, not a dash of Sundays. Not a week of Sundays, not a year of Sundays, not a month of Sundays, and not a millennium of Sundays. Okay, so here this is sort of a proverb which is not a month of Sundays. When we say no, not a month of Sundays, which means it is not likely to happen. This, which means that she is not allowing it to happen. So this is a phrase which means not a month of Sundays stands for something that is unlikely to happen. Okay, so which means she is unlikely to allow for it. Okay, here Dimitri says, "I wish I dashed home earlier last night. I'm so tired today. I wish I was going home. I wish I had been going home. Or I wish I had gone. Or wish I have gone." So here the correct answer is here. See, I wish I had gone. Okay, talking about an action which has been completed in the past perfect. Other options you see: A, this is past continuous; B, had been going, past perfect continuous; D, have gone, present perfect. Okay, the correct answer is C. I wish I had gone home earlier last night. I'm so tired today. Okay, next. Can you take this through to the living room? Nephew replies, can I do it in a second? I dash will finish this page first. I could finish this page first. I will to finish this page first. I maybe finish this page first. Or I must finish this page first. Here the correct answer is D. I must finish this page first. Alright. So the modal must, talking about something that he necessarily has to do. Okay. Alright, next. Amanda says, how is this possible? June replies, Dash ask me, I have no idea what you're talking about. Please ask me, or don't ask me, or can't ask me, or won't ask me. The correct answer is B. Don't ask me, I have no idea what you are talking about. Alright. Okay, next. Don't worry about those guys. If they wanted our help, they dash asked. They would have asked, they might have asked, they may have asked, or they must have asked. Here the correct answer is they would have asked, which means it's a condition, it's a possibility that if they wanted our help, this condition, then they would have asked. So we use would in the situation. Alright, now we have the achievers section, the last 5 HOTS questions which are very important. Let's see. Okay, so here for questions 45 and 46, choose the correct option to fill in the blank. This one says, no offense meant to you, dash, I don't think you've quite understood what I want. Option A, no offense meant to you, but I don't think you've quite understood what I meant. B, no offense to you, so I don't think you've quite understood what I want. C, no offense meant to you when I don't think you've quite understood what I want. Or D, no offense meant to you because I don't think you've quite understood what I want. So here the correct answer is A. No offense meant to you, but I don't think you've quite understood what I want. Here, why but? Because we are saying two contrasting statements. That's why using the conjunction but. We have so we use when we are talking about any reason, because also when you're talking about certain reason, when we are talking about some time. Okay. Okay, next. This time next week I won't be in class. Dash on a beach relaxing. I'd lie on a beach relaxing. I'll be lying on a beach relaxing. I'll lie on a beach relaxing. Or I am lying on a beach relaxing. So here you see, what are we talking about? We're talking about this time next week. Next time next week. So this is about future, and when we talk about a future in a certain time, when we are talking about a certain time, certain duration, we use continuous tense. So here this will be future continuous. I will be lying on a beach relaxing. All right. All right. Now next we have choose the correct antonym of the given word. The word is sinister. Here the options are A, threatening, B, evil, C, ominous, or D, auspicious. Now here you see we have to choose the correct antonym. Antonym means something, the word which means the opposite of the word given. So here we have sinister. Sinister actually means something evil or something harmful that has been happening. So accordingly, what we can say the antonym to be is auspicious. Auspicious means something holy and something safe in a manner that is happening. All right. Then we have threatening. Threatening can here be said to be a synonym of sinister. Then here we have evil. Evil also can be said to be a synonym, and even ominous. All these can be said to be synonyms of sinister, whereas auspicious is what? An antonym. Alright, here we have choose the correct synonym of the given word. The word given is unilateral. The options are one-sided, open-ended, quick-witted and downtrodden. Now here unilateral means something which is one-sided. So the correct synonym is one-sided. Alright, from just one point of view. Then we have open-ended. Open-ended, something that doesn't really have any defined limit or boundary. Quick-witted, something who is, very clever and gives very quick and smart answers. Okay. Then we have downtrodden. Downtrodden means someone who's oppressed or not really treated nicely. Okay. Alright, so here we have the 50th question. This one says, choose the most suitable option to complete the conversation. And here Felix says, I've lost my shoe, so I'm having to dash with bare feet. A. Pushover with bare feet. B. Get by with bare feet. C. Have it with bare feet. D. Show around with bare feet. So here the correct answer is B. Get by with bare feet. Now all these you see they are phrasal verbs. They are made up of a verb plus another preposition. So here the preposition. So here the phrasal verb get by means actually living with some sort of a difficulty, right? Surviving with some problem. Then we have push over. Push over, if we use as an adjective for someone, we can mean that if we say like this person is a pushover, you can say this person is fairly easy to influence. All right. Then we have C, have it. Now have it, when we say this person has it, or I have it, which means winning some sort of a decision. Then we have show around. Show around actually means sort of giving a tour, an explanatory guide, a guide of some place. Yes, that is showing around. Now with this we finish off with all the questions of the sample paper for class 6. I hope you have understood all the questions.
So that's all for the sample paper. So make sure you remember the rules and the various guidelines I told you while for solving the paper. And also, since this was your sort of a final test, make sure that if you have made any mistakes, you rectify them, analyze your weaknesses and work on them so that you don't make these mistakes in the final paper. Alright, I hope you have understood all the concepts. If not, make sure you go back and revise those concepts. I wish you all the best for your Olympiad and otherwise for life as well. Thank you for watching.